Hello and welcome to the first ever edition of Level Up. My name's Tim Morgan and I'm going to be reviewing games, just general games. I'm not going to stick to any specific consoles, new games or retro games. So I'm going to be reviewing anything across the board, anything from NES, PlayStation, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, Wii, anything that I feel like reviewing. If you're not familiar with Triangle Face, you can check out my Triangle Face website, triangleface.co.uk. There you'll see stuff that me and a few friends do, us talking on the sofa like this, a comedy sketch show presented by myself and my good friend Sam Gregory, and also some short amateur films made by myself and a few friends whenever we have the time to do it. I'm starting to hope off doing these videos once a month, see how it goes, and hopefully do them a bit more frequently depending on how much free time I have to do them. So with that out of the way, the first review of the show is going to be Tekken 6. So, Tekken 6. First off, there's a few new characters. You have Lars, who's turns out to be another Mishima. He's related to Heihachi, a son he's had, who runs a company in Sweden or something. He's the main character in the storyline mode or campaign mode. This is a big build-up of the Tekken Force mode that we've seen in previous Tekkens. With this, it's free roaming. You'll go through different characters. There's weapons to collect. You can pick up guns and pipes, things like that. As you progress to the end of the level, there'll be a boss character who's one of the main characters from the game. Disappointing thing about this mode, I have to say, is you go around with Alicia Bozkomovich, who's a new character, who is a cyborg created by Dr. Bozkomovich. You may remember him as the old man who couldn't stand up in Tekken 3. The thing I don't like about this mode is that there's a second player with you, but it's controlled by AI. You can't have a friend with a second controller playing as a two-player, which would have been awesome. Two-player Force mode, I saw the trailers, thought two-player Force mode, fantastic, and then it's actually one-player Force mode with computer AI that follows you around. Sorry to dwell on the bad points to start off, but the other thing I'd like to talk about this game is the customization of the characters. Right, so when you're playing the scenario mode, you can collect different items to customize your character. Now customization is quite cool. You can give yourself different options and different clothes, but problem is some of the clothes look ridiculous. You can get like a pink king mask, which no one's ever going to use. I was playing through with Lars and you get like a cowboy hat and pink boots, and you end up looking like you've been dressed by a, well, there's nothing really PC I can say to in that sentence. Additionally to this, all the items have different stats. You can have fire adding to your attack or increased health, that sort of thing. But the stats are related to different items. So you end up picking the items that have the best stats, obviously, and end up looking stupid as a result. So you have the choice of either looking cool or having cool moves. It's up to you. It's not really a very good choice. I'd prefer to be able to look good and have good moves. You'd think that they would have the upgraded moves and the costumes as a separate thing, and you can customise how you want to look and what stats you want to have, but unfortunately not. You can buy some items if you have money as well. Unfortunately, when you buy the items, you don't actually seem to get the stats that come with it, so what's the point in that? Looks like the items you collect in scenario mode don't actually seem to have an effect on your character when playing ghost mode or offline or arcade battles, so a lot of it's pretty pointless. Focusing on some of the good points of the game, the animation and graphics are fantastic, some of the best I've seen from a Tekken game. All the storyline and characters and moves are keeping up to the standards of Tekken. If you've been following the series, you sort of know the Mishimas have a different power struggles of who's controlling the Mishima conglomerate. In Tekken 6, it's Jin Kazama who's now in charge, and both Heihachi and Kazuya are trying to get back on top. And then you throw Lars into the mix. Strangely, with Lars, he would have a good plot, just being a descendant of the Mishima bloodline, getting involved in the Tekken tournament, but for some reason they decide to give him amnesia, and then he just wanders around fighting people for no reason until he gets his memory back. It's a bit pointless. Some of the cool things are that the counters in the game. The counters are very good. Characters like Alicia Bozkomovich, who I mentioned before, has a move where she takes off her head and hands it to the other player. When the player's holding her head, the head explodes in their hands. Pretty cool throw. And if you counter this throw, you take the head and you stick it back on her body. So a lot of the counters, rather than just knocking them away, you'll actually counter the move mid-throw, and the animation will vary depending on what throw is being done to you. So that's been done very well. Things I would like to see in this game which aren't in there, a few more areas to fight in. You have got the floor collapsing feature, but it doesn't really happen that often. Okay, so as in all the other Tekken games, it's introduced a few new characters. Some of these characters have been very cool. I've already mentioned Lars and Alicia Boscomovich. Lars has a similar fighting style to the other Mishimas, but has his own sort of twist on it as well. He's quite a unique character, and he has some really cool sort of power hits and then some fast combos as well, so he's a pretty good character to get good with. You've got Alicia Boscomovich. She's quite a good character. She's got a moves where she can pull chainsaws out of her arms and then make her a longer range attack. She can fly around. She's got some pretty interesting throws and stuff, so she's a really good character to play as well. Then you have Bob. Bob is a really big guy who flails around like crazy. The idea behind the character is that he was a really good fighter and found he couldn't beat larger fighters, so he decided to go off and just put on loads of weight. So he's now this big fat guy who can do loads of spinning roundhouse kicks and stuff. He looks a bit ridiculous, but give him a go because he's actually a very good character to play with. Leo, pretty dull character, doesn't do a lot. Quite easy to play with. You can probably kick people's ass with him, or her. I'm not actually sure if it's a man or a woman. But again, the moves aren't really flashy, basic throws, just pushing someone on the floor, punching and kicking. Nothing that exciting. We've also got Miguel. Miguel's some Spanish guy who doesn't like Jin Kazama because he blew up a church when he was getting married or something, as the intro video indicates. Again, he hasn't really got very good moves. I'm not really a big fan of the character, so he's a bit of a fail. But give him a go, see what you think for yourself. Zafina. Zafina is an interesting character, similar to Voldo from Soul Calibur Get series. She sort of flails around a bit and wiggles around and lies on the floor. I guess she's a good character. I don't know, I haven't really played with her a lot. I guess decide for yourself. Okay, so my score for Tekken 6 is 8 out of 10. A little bit disappointed with it. I was expecting a 10 out of 10 game, and there's a few sort of fundamental flaws, such as the pink king mask, which is pointless. With the customization, why not have one jacket and then be able to choose the colour? No, you have to unlock like 5 jackets, one that's pink and one that's orange. You're only ever going to use like the black or red one, so you have to play longer to unlock a green jacket that you never actually want to wear. Okay, so I gave Tekken 6 an 8 out of 10. But what did you think? Put your comments in the comment section below, put marks out of 10 and a brief reason why, and I'll put my top 5 favourite responses in the next episode of Level Up. If you're a fan of this game or you're a fan of the Tekken series, I definitely recommend Tekken 5 for the PlayStation 2. Best thing about this game is it's got an arcade history mode where you can play Tekken 1, Tekken 2 and Tekken 3. Okay, well this brings me to the end of the first ever edition of Level Up. Thanks very much for watching. My name's Tim Morgan and this level's complete.